playing a high level. Paul Pierce has turned it on. You got Kevin Garnett.
Paul Pierce actually isn't playing well, but go ahead.
Well, actually, the playoffs he's been playing well.
Man, I think Rasheed brushed his head last night and put up some points.
Yeah,
I think Doc Rivers definitely motivated him, and I think his teammates gathered around him, and they all came together and they said, "Look, we're gonna come out here and we're gonna put our foot on their throat this evening."
He still got that wingworm patch in his head.
I think so. That's permanent. That's not gonna go nowhere, man.
Yeah, but he's
I guess money can't buy you everything.
He is overweight right now.
Yeah.
He's been overweight for a
But
while.
he's a vegetarian, though. Aren't you a vegetarian, Ray?
How do you get overweight as a vegetarian? Isn't it like an oxymoron?
You know he drinks. You can tell.
In college, Fish, you stopped eating beef and you were still the same size.
All the carry-out food. I couldn't tell you. The carry-out food messed me up with meat. It was just terrible. But those are the old days. We don't want to talk about the old days.
Yeah, I felt like the production manager took a shot at me just now because I pointed out, that he spelled LeBron wrong, and he the one was saying nomadic and all that. It is what it is, though. Everybody's not perfect. I still, like the cufflinks. I want to mention something about Antoine Jameson, though. Regardless of what the stat sheet say, because he shot a good percentage. If y'all notice, Cleveland made a run, and they got the lead down to 10. And he had a 3 that he missed wide open. And that's the type of stuff he did in Washington. He never hit the big shot. He took those dumb flip shots. They usually go over the basket when they're, coming a critical time in the game. But, I mean, it is what it is. I think Boston has a chance to put a stranglehold on that series at home. Rondo's playing great. We didn't even mention him. He's playing good. He's balling. Wally, you don't like Rondo, though.
I hate Rondo. I think that for a point guard to not have a jump shot is ridiculous.
I mean, he's just like to
Eric
me.
Snow.
To me, he's a young Tony Parker.
Good. He can play.
A young Tony Parker. Isn't he the half about majority of the point guards in the NBA don't have a jumper?
Not like that though. Not like that. I mean, the guy who struggles from the free throw line and he has to do a running floater as a jump shot.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I think he's in the upper echelon, but compared to Darren Williams, Derrick Rose, and CP, they can shoot.
Yeah.
And I understand Wally's point, but I like that though. And speaking of Darren Williams, over the weekend, Darren Williams and the Jazz, they played the Lakers. I was a little disappointed with the Jazz because I was rooting for the Nuggets, so I'm not gonna lie, my opinion is a little biased, but I feel like they don't play as tough, I should say, against the Lakers the way they played Denver. Go ahead, what y'all think?
I think Darren Williams he's doing a good job. He's bringing a light-skinned basketball player back. But at the same time, I mean, you can just see the size factor come into play when the Jazz play the Lakers. I mean, you can see the size factor. And also you can see that, I mean, usually the Jazz are a tough team, but if for some reason they don't really get too many calls against the Lakers, and at the same time, that aggressiveness that they normally play with, for some reason, almost disappears when they play the Lakers.
Yeah, I think it's a mental thing. Whenever they get on the court with the Lakers beat them 14 times straight. I think that mentally they're in their head, and also you got to look
14 times straight.
14 times in the playoffs.
All right, cool. Make sure.
Yeah, thank you, sir. But I think mentally they're just in their head, and second of all, they're missing some key pieces. They said that Karolinko is 50-50 for tonight, and also Mehmet Okur. He stretches the floor out. He makes their big man, brings their big man out, so that Carlos Boozer can do his thing down on the low block.
Yeah, Carlos Boozer is one of the great players in the NBA.
We love you, Carlo.
But seriously, Utah is, like Ray said, against Denver, it just seemed like they played all out. The Lakers is like Millsap is not boxing out like he's boxing out against the Nuggets. They seem a little scared. And also Darren Williams, I think he's more involved than Ron Artest was checking him. Instead of just treating Ron Artest like another player, and go right by him, he was too concerned about what Ron Artest was doing on defense.
Well, Game 2 of that series is tonight, and Game 1 of the Magic and Hawks also kicks off tonight. The Hawks eliminated Milwaukee over the weekend in a Game 7 that nobody cared about. It wasn't even in prime time. I think it's amazing how that Game 7 got so much lack of interest. Go ahead, Will, see what you think.
Yeah, I mean, if you think typically of an NBA Game 7, you think high drama. A lot of people really want to see the game, but with the Bucks and the Hawks, even though the Bucks do have a terrific young point guard in Brandon Jennings, and the Hawks, they do have superstars such as Joe Johnson and Al Horford. They're really, to me personally, this series to me was a total. I just had no interest in this series.
You know what they should have did? They should have had like the strip clubs in Atlanta do like the halftime show to put a little more interest in that game, because
Magic City,
baby.
That's what I thought too when we went there.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Monday nights, the only. Well, I don't go to strip clubs no more. You know, there might be people from my church listen here. I don't know what they're talking about. There's nothing magic about the strip club. You know, we need to get away from that.
It's safer in the strip club than the church.
Oh wow! All right. I'm gonna change gears, man. Lord forgive him. I'm gonna take Orlando in Game 1 tonight. That's my pick for Game 1. And I'm going to take the Lakers to go up on the Jazz 2-0, which I think.
I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, the Hawks, they kind of struggle against Orlando a little bit this season anyway. So I don't see no reason why this game should probably end in 5 or 6 games.
You know, Dwight Howard's pretty much in the season series dominated the Hawks. So they're going to take Game 1. It's in home. And then plus they come from a draining Game 7, I guess. And then we have
draining.
You know,
draining.
It's a Game 7, so I'm gonna give them
draining to watch. Yeah,
exactly. That's true. And the Lakers and Utah, I want to get Utah the benefit of the doubt, but from what I saw, I mean, on Game 1, I think Utah's going. LA's going 2-0.
Yeah, Lamar Odom changes everything. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
I agree with y'all. I think that the Magic with Dwight Howard, they dominate the Hawks. This series probably goes at most 5 games. With the Lakers and the Jazz, I actually think that the Lakers are going to sweep the Jazz.
Yeah.
The Jazz just aren't mentally tough when it comes to the Lakers.
Man, they'll get one game in. I mean, they'll get one game in when they go back to Utah.
Well, the thing, that Utah is a hostile environment to play in, but
David Stern will tell them to give them one game so to keep the playoffs going.
If they had Okur, whatever his name is, they'd be okay. But I just think that they don't got the big man to stroke Jays. I mean, they can't stretch the court, so I can see them getting swept.
By stroke Jays, you mean knockdown jumpers?
Yeah, it did. Sorry for the slang. I'm gonna stop using Ebonics. I apologize.
I just want to backtrack for a second because we totally disrespected the Phoenix Suns. We haven't even mentioned them. They played a great game last night. I fell asleep in the third quarter because we are on the East Coast. But
we didn't mention them because probably everybody here fell asleep before the game was off. That's the thing. I think that's a element that the NBA needs to address. You got a great game like that, but people on the East Coast, the game isn't over till 1:30 in the morning. Most people have to get up and go to work.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not impressed to watch the Phoenix Suns and the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, I will say this. Well, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Go ahead, Fish. What you got to say, man?
Grant Hill is back. But nah, I mean, the game is. Was Tamia at the game?
Yeah.
Nah, she was cooking some grits in my house. But I mean, it's a West Coast game, so the time we can't really control that as far as the West
burn
Coast.
You with them giants.
But as far as the series, I mean, it's going to be a good series. I mean, Phoenix and San Antonio. I mean, San Antonio is a seasoned playoff team, so it's going to be a good series. And as far as the games, I mean, we really can't control the West Coast games like that. I mean they're not going to bump the games up to no 5, 6 o'clock just to suit people on the East Coast who probably won't even root for them anyway.
I mean, we can't control the games, but what the NBA can do is they can control the days off between all of these games. I mean, it's killing me. You look at the Celtics and the Cavaliers series. And that was Tuesday night. They aren't going to play their next game until Friday. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty much. I think one thing David Stern will have to do is, as far as certain teams, he's going to have to really put one game in prime time. Like, for you to put that Phoenix game come on, say about 8 o'clock East Coast time, then it'll be more of a prime time game. People will actually stay up and watch that. Or, be honest with you, more games on a Thursday, Friday, and say a Saturday night, when most guys are, out at the bar watching the game. I mean, that's prime time to watch playoffs. That's sports time. That's what he needs to try to do. But, Ray, I think you have a few words for us.
Yes, I do. And you don't always have to say my name like that. I know you're coming to me. Anyway, we got to take a quick commercial break, man. Our sponsors, they pressing us. We got to promote everybody that we're sponsoring. Anyway, or that's sponsoring us. My bad. We coming back with Laugh Out Loud. LOL. That's our segment we like to have fun with.
Some voices are more powerful than others.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
One small step for man, one giant leap.
And the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
To your child, there is one voice that rises above all others. Yours. Talking to your kids about the dangers of drugs will lower their chance of drug use by up to 50%. Get the help you need at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
804-335-005. LOL smiley face. Soulja Boy smiley face. 804-335-005. LOL smiley face. LOL smiley face. Just text me. say she wanna sex me. LOL smiley face, LOL smiley face. Try to send a Twitter pic saying.
Oh man, I hate this song, but it's